So, like, Janine, without focusing too much, Janine is a really experienced performer and teacher and player, and that really comes out in the different forms of articulation. And I'm just a little bit worried about your neck sometimes, that you might get, it might fall off when you do some of those big runs. But it's how you, it is a bodily thing. You put your body into these. So, like, obviously Janine was overemphasizing it in a performative manner, but that does add to the articulation. It adds to the expressiveness that happens with,
I love the contrast between Janine and Susan, or Susie as we know her, Susie HT Hall Thompson. Susie's like the Zen. She's got this little half smile on her face, and she's just and making all these beautiful notes. Exactly the opposite of Janine in a way, getting great articulation, but just like this Buddha of the ukulele.
It was interesting to see her use like thumb and fingers. Like, it's a really different sound. I think that's the other thing to kind of try, is just 2 fingers, 1 finger, thumb. Some reason for single notes I kind of like the thumb, because every note's kind of got the same. Like with a finger, the angle's a bit different, so which is sometimes they're great for, like, you get a bit more attack with the kind of third finger, but with the thumb they're all kind of quite smooth and mellow. But with the finger, it's a bit more snappy, but. Yeah, so that's just another.
Sorry, and were you talking about your
right hand?
Your fretting hand?
No, right hand.
Sorry, right hand.
Right
hand.
Yeah. And also, Sam, you're of the Hawaiian school. That's a lot about the flesh of your fingers. Do you want
the kind of
talk about that a bit, because people wouldn't be aware of that approach. I mean, they've seen a lot of AJ Leonard with his acrylic nails and stuff.
Well. I just can't do any of those. I just honestly just can't make them. They all just kind of hit the frets, and they just. I kind of do them. I do them upside down. Any of those kind of things. For some reason I don't have luck with that kind of scrapey down.
Well, actually, Sam's being quite humble there. He's more influenced by the Hawaiians, who don't. The older Hawaiians, not the modern ones.
Yeah,
they do a lot of just pads of fingers stuff, because they like the sound of that. Is that right,
I mean,
Sam?
that's like a few that kind of smooth. It's the difference between, I guess, going down with your fingernails or going up with the. Yeah, I'm still kind of experimenting as we all are.
So Sam, you would notice that he does a lot of his chords. So the first thing I noticed about Sam and Kimo Hussey and the blokes that he was hanging out with in Hawaii is there's a lot of this stuff. Have I got that right, Sam?
Yeah, right, yeah. So, yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, rather than... kind of a bit more punchy, but yeah, the upstroke's got it, because you're using you get a lot of the flesh, so it's a nice smooth sound.
I just think you should all be aware of that, because there's a lot of showy, like Jake Shimabukuro and all that stuff. There's a lot of that out there in the world, and to know that the Hawaiians, the traditional Hawaiians, are really just doing a lot of softer stuff. It made me feel good about not being that sort of showy type player.
Turbo ukulele.
Yeah.
A lot of that comes from like flamenco guitar and stuff, doesn't it?
So, which song would you like to do? Would you like to do Caledonia, perhaps, Sam, and how would you like to do that? And everybody's going to have a.
Why don't we just play both the Caledonia and T-Bone Shuffle? Just play them.
Yep.
We do T-Bone Shuffle then Caledonia. Yeah.
Okay.
Can I correct you, Sam, please?
Yes.
It's not Caledonia. It's Caldonia.
Yeah. Sorry, I did realise that. And then
there's no E.
Yeah, sorry.
It's all
Don't
right.
lose marks for that.
Now, what would you like to do?
Well-
Like melody, then improv, melody, improv. What would you like? Or
Look, I reckon we just play the because, we've seen everyone can solve. Like, I reckon let's just play both the melodies for a kind of warm up, and I
Okay.
reckon I'll just point out a couple of. Let's just try and make that note short. Just try and really make that one short. So just try and get that one. And the other one that's good in Caledonia is if you go, just doesn't quite sound as snappy or something. So mine's buzzing a bit. Does that make sense? So it's
no,
just that.
I don't understand what you're saying.
Just that note there. Rather than you want. It's just-
Okay,
yeah.
you want your first.
Yeah. Sorry.
You
It's
want your first.
it's the one after the trill.
D sharp. You want it to be short.
It's the C note. Sorry.
Oh, C note. You want that
C.
short.
Sorry. Yeah. I didn't.
Yeah.
Explain.
Cool.
And like yeah. However, that thing. There's so many different ways you can slide down but I reckon. Sorry, mate.
I much prefer, like, I've just hurt my finger this week, so I can't do a lot of that. But I much prefer the
Sure.
trill. I much prefer one finger at a time. I think there's so much more skill development in that.
Yeah. And you can if
That
you.
allow- yeah, that.
But this is the note in question. That one.
Ah, okay. The C.
Because I'll play it without it. And then it just sounds more kind of punchy. It's like means a bit
right.
business like.
Ha. Now, and
But
just
that's
to.
it.
Oh, sorry. I
No,
didn't mean to block
I
you.
think that I reckon
should
that's
I
the only
just do-
two.
Should we just be the backing band? We'll just play the chords and or should I play melody?
Yeah,
with
play
them?
melody too. Yeah, and this is just for a warm up, just to get us.
Okay. Can we do 2 T-bone shuffles and then 2 colour
Yeah,
donuts?
great, sure.
Right, okay. And can we do it slow?
Yeah,
Am I too loud?
How's the level of the bass?
good. It's good. I'll turn myself off.
Hi, Chris. How's Adelaide? Good to see you. What's the ukulele you're playing, Chris? It's not the new one? No. Chris made a beautiful ukulele.
In Newcastle.
I'll go and get it in the break.
Good.
Ah,
That'd be
good.
lovely.
You'll have to show it off, Chris. Okay. I think I would need it at about that speed. Would that be okay for everybody? I'll count us in 3. 1, 2, 3. Sorry. Again. I've lost it. Keep going. Da-dum, dum, da-dum, dum, da-dum, dum. Here's our favourite bit. Excuse my mistakes. That was a bit fast for me.
Hey, that was great though. You were nailing that short note.
Yes,
just,
I
you
thought
know-
I'd better.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, lucky you did too. Yeah, and they're really kind of brass phrase or trumpet kind of phrasing, isn't it? Like
Yes.
in a big band chart, they always have like dots and dash, and they all, when they're rehearsing, they'll go, okay, make sure you dot that note, But that's where that kind of phrasing comes from. But yeah, they're great tunes. I often just practice tunes like that. They're great.
I really love how these songs are. They give you examples of different articulation techniques, expressive techniques, but also different phrasing. Like I think I said last week, the flattened thirds and the normal thirds, the natural thirds. Like the combination of those, it just teaches you a repertoire of licks that you can throw in at some stage in your improvising elsewhere.
Yeah, the flatten and the sweet and the major third, it's just that, sweet and sour thing that you can,
Yes.
you can flavour it any way you like if you got those two.
Could be called umami.
Actually, I liked how Kathy, I think that's what you were doing, Kathy, was adding in minor majors in your improv. Would that be right, Kathy? Is that right? Yeah, I liked...
Yeah, just what did I do? And the second time,
Yeah, listen to that.
Yeah, it was really nice.
something
You
I
did
can't
that.
remember.
You did that mixture of major minor, and it was really, it just created such beautiful melody. Yeah, which yeah. Hey, let's move on, Sam.
Yeah, okay.
If you're okay with that.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, we can.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we can keep referring back to these tunes for the rest of our lives.
Yes. Yeah, and thank you very much for providing them too, because I feel like I've got heaps of teaching worth in just those two.
Because I reckon if you learn good tunes, good melodies to play, it's kind of about all you have to do, really. If you can play good melodies, your kind of solos will follow. Like, it's not this kind of big separate thing where learning how to solos, or I don't think it is anyway. Like, learning how to solo should be very kind of integrated with just playing and in particular playing melodies, rather than sometimes it's treated as like a totally different animal. But I reckon if you learn just learn lots and lots of tunes that you like, and that kind of feeds your solo.
But it also feeds your selected genre. So if you were doing all reels and jigs, that's sort of that's
exactly,
where your solo is going to go.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, in your solos, Sam, how much of it is spur of the moment, on the spot?
Well, I was actually thinking about it like today. I reckon what we're going to do with melodies today. I reckon that's kind of about not 75% of it is working around the melody of what I do anyway. Like just playing kind of songs. It's different if you're in a kind of jazz fusion band or something. But when you're playing with singers who sing these kind of songs and country songs, or so often your solo is just based around the melody. And if you can play a good melody, you can do it as an instrumental, or it can be part of your solo. So yeah, I reckon just learning melodies is, I think this week you could actually do it. You could just do 5 weeks playing around the melodies of songs, I reckon.
But then it would be a degree, Sam. So
That's right. Yeah.
We're not offering a degree course here.
So-
So last week was about the rhythm, about getting different rhythms happening, and changing those. This week it's about the melody.
So should we start with Sway or Autumn Leaves? Because they're the two simpler ones.
Is it? I reckon let's go Autumn Leaves and we'll go through the...
Yep.
Do you want to just play it with you? Should we all just play it first?
Yeah,
think?
sure.
I wish Ruth was here. Ruth McRae. Because she sings it so beautifully.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Okay.
So we'll have a little warm up, and then
Yeah.
I'll go through that nerdy shit.
Yeah, go through and Sam, I've written it pretty straight. Should I just play it
Yeah,
straight
just
the first
however.
time?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
Yeah, great. Okay. No, you can't because it's going to cover my. It's going to cover my music. I need a bit more light, but I think I'll be all right. Sorry, we're just fussing around here. Okay. Oh, that's nice.
That's all right, isn't it? Is that all right for you guys?
That's not. We're a bit backlit, but it means that I can actually see the music.
Don't sit down.
Don't sit down. Right. Okay. All right. So you've got the 2-pager, right, guys? The 2-pager with the melody there written out. We're just going to do the melody together. I'm going to do, and some of you will do a bit of chord melody on this stuff too, because we've been learning that. Okay. No pressure. I'm going to count you 4 and 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Should have practiced that. Just
You
great.
did it fine.
I
Stop
know.
apologising.
No,
Um,
just
what-
realised I haven't practiced this.
I followed. I really liked the Dr. Uke arrangement of this song. I really love playing it on the ukulele, because.
Jane won't let you.
Yes. But shut up, Sam. There. We're doing that later, aren't we? Are we doing that later? Like, what are the
Chords up the neck. And
chords up the neck?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's next
So, but this is almost like a bit of a prelude to that. Particularly I think it's the last line, or the second last line, or third last line, of this version. All the different inversions, and you're doing the same chord, except you're inverting it or moving. You know, like the diminished. It's the way this guy has arranged it, chords, and then that suggests positions for your solos. But that's not this week.
that's next week.
Yes, but it's a prelude. You know,
That's okay.
Yeah.
It's good.
You had some groovy chords in there at one bit, like I can't remember what some.
There's a D minor. I just do a dropping on the D minor.
Yeah, that was nice. Yeah.
And then some others were just
There's
mistakes.
some other real.
He's got E minor 7 flat 5
Yeah,
in this version.
yeah. In the backing track, I thought, oh, do I follow? So there's a few little options that people put in that it's. But
And that speaks to how you can vary things as well with an arrangement.
yeah, there's that bit at the end, that 2 bars of D minor where people do crazy things. But so you've already started kind of doing a bit of chord melody on that one, have you?
Yeah, in our
yeah,
because we do chord melody on that
Yeah,
one.
okay, great. Yeah, because it's an obvious one, isn't it? Because,
Isn't it? Yeah, nice and slow and yeah.
yeah. Well, shall I
So-
just whip through these little things? They're all very.
So this is
So-
the messing with the melody thing. Is that what you're going to refer to, Sam?
Yeah, so it's just. It's basically just the first 2 bars of Autumn Leaves, lots of different ways. and the idea is that you could a lot of this would apply to Mac the Knife as well. Like each song's kind of got its own little quirks, but how the melody's set up. But so it would apply to the first two bars, and also for the whole A section. So so you just got the first one just to play in melody, and it's kind of very straight, like on the beat. The first thing I kind of tend to do without even thinking is go kind of syncopate a little bit. So 2, 3, 4, 1. That's one example. So when syncopating, generally when you got something that's all on the beat like that first one, you're generally either moving it half a beat earlier or half a beat later, because that gives it that kind of swinging sound. So in this, what I've done with the syncopate one is the first note comes in half a beat earlier, and the last note comes in half a beat earlier as well. So the first one is 2, 3, 4, 1. Boom, 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 boom. It's all very marching band. And the second one's 2, 3, 4, 1. So they're both off the beat. Do you want to just play that together? Is that a good idea? We'll play that syncopated one. Let's do it 4 times in a row or something. So you kind of 1 and 2. Or 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. 2, 3, 4, 1. 2, 3, 4, 1. 2, 3, 4, 1. Does that kind of make sense? So you're just kind of grooving it up a bit. Okay, the next one is adding notes, especially when you got crotchets or quarter notes. You can add little extra notes without really changing the melody too much, like that kind. And they wouldn't have to be that notes, but that's just a kind of a simple upgrade. Do you want to try that? Should we play them all? Is that a good idea? All right. We'll do it 4 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. 2, 3, 4, 1. 2, 3, 4, 1. 2, 3, 4, 1. And that way, you could keep going with that. You could keep going in that vein, I think. The next one is, so we're going to keep the same shape, our syncopated shape, but change the notes. So, the first time through, you might play the strict melody notes, and the second time you go, stuff it, I'm going to play some different notes. So you get 2, 3, 4, 1. Should we do that 4 times together? 2, 3, 4, 1. 2, 3, 4, 1. Whoops, I missed. So 2, 3, 4, 1. 2, 3, 4, 1. 2, 3, 4, 1. 2, 3, 4, 1. Yeah, so that's same shape, different rhythm.
I wanted to ask on that one,
Yeah.
Sam, and if anybody else has questions that they want to,
Yeah, go for it.
But on that one, you end on on leaves. You end on the root of the melody. That all those notes.
That's right. So
Is that important to do that? Do you think?
I think it's something you kind of just do naturally, like, because those first 3 notes, they're kind of like, they're nearly what you call pickup notes. The important note is leaves, like, so you could go blah, 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 leaves, and it would still kind of make sense.
Yes.
So that's why I kept that kind of the same.
Yep. Cool.
But yeah, any other? Just pipe in if there's any other questions. The next one you've probably already kind of done it really, but it's just when you've got a long note, and especially when the melody note's on that first string, that's a great place to put a chord. Like when the melody note's on the second or third or fourth string, it's like you haven't got much to put below it, but when it's so that's it. And James was doing that, so I'm kind of doing the syncopation and that. Should we do that together? Go 4 times. 2, 3, 4, 1. 2, 3, 4, 1. Oops. I was going to swear. Take 2, 3, 4, 1. 2, 3, 4, 1. 2, 3, 4, 1. 2, 3, 4, 1. Yeah, great. That one feels very comfortable. That's kind of feels like you'd want it. That's what you want to do with it.
Did you say it was his internet connection? No? No, it's just his incompetence. Is that what you're saying?
It's no. I'm noticing your speed is being a little.
Oh, you're speeding up a little. You haven't got a bass player with you, Sam.
Oh.
No. He's not speeding up.
Oh.
His internet is.
Oh, it's his internet. That's what I said. Okay.
Yeah.
Just a little. It just.
Bit of flamming.
Yeah.
Well, a bit of that's the lag jazz.
Lag
Sam.
jazz. Okay, yeah.
Now I did want to ask another question. So there, instead of just playing that melody on leaves, you're playing a chord, right? Which is logical to do. But what I know about and what I love about a really good improviser and soloist like yourself is you so often you won't play a solo as single notes. You'll play them as harmonized notes. And are we doing that does that get addressed somewhere in the next 4 weeks? No. So I
do.
we did it in.
It's all part of the grand plan.
But we can.
Yeah, I think it would probably be good to, because you could do all of those notes if you wanted to be really, really busy, or it's a solo, or it's a solo piece without a band.
I mean, it's a really good point, because like that, the lower notes you kind of can't really, because you got like your lower, your first chord would only have 2 notes. So like if I was going to do a chord melody, you'd do it on something where ideally if the melody is just on that, all on the high string, and then then it can have 3 notes supporting it. But if the melody's all on these kind of lower strings, you kind of got nothing to.
And it's
you want the chord to be lower in pitch than the
which
melody
is exactly the lecture that James Hill gives when he teaches chord melody. He says, you want the last note in your strum through, it wants to be the melody.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
the highest note.
Yeah.
Actually, I'd like to ask a question. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry to hog him, guys. Please butt in, okay? But on those semi-breves or those minims, that's often where I think that I can do some fluffy stuff, like.
Yeah,
is that right? Or is that just like?
That's coming up. Yeah, that's actually the next one.
Whoa!
Sorry.
You've come right at the right time. Well, the other answer would be no, you're never allowed to do that. But yeah, it's just such an obvious place to do a chord. 1, because it's on the high string, and 2, because it's just a big, long, lazy note. There's no, if it was only going for half a beat, you wouldn't have long enough to let it ring. But okay, so the next one is, like you either adding notes to keeping the melody, but adding notes to putting a tail on it, or or something at the beginning. This one, it works better having something at the end because you just got that big long note at the end. In the beginning's a bit of a kind of intro to that long note anyway. It kind of doesn't need an extra pickup to it. So what have I got? Oh, I've actually got the wrong first three notes. The first bar should be the melody. I've got the change the melody for the first first bar. It should be. That's what I wanted. I've got, which is it's. I meant to put the melody there. So if does that make sense? What I've done wrong? So that first bar of the add notes to start or end should be 2 0 1. So I'll fix that. But yeah, so it should be.
I think we got it.
You got it? Yeah, great.
Oh, you could also fix these spelling errors while you're at it, Sam. Like embellish has 2 L's.
And
This is
and in these and in these case. It'll be right by next week. So that'll be 2 3 4 1 2 So yeah, you just wear that kind of exactly what Jane was asking, where you've got that. So it's a bit hard to read with all that mess, but where you've got that long note, yeah. You know, you could do whatever you like. The next one, we can kind of put some little chord. It's a really typical kind of swingy jazz thing to do, is when you got a gap, is to put in some kind of little kind of, we call them like stab chords. So you're not playing, like if you're just playing chords, you'd be going. So you instead of going rhythm, you can. You're kind of doing a little phrase with the chords. So the one I've got written there is. It's a kind of a G minus 7 to C9. It's hard to spot, but on the third string it changes from the 5th fret to the 4th fret. And it's great when you can, the least changing of chord, if you can change chords without moving nearly any fingers, it's great. It sounds good and it's easy too.
I was just, while I'm thinking about it, on the one that you had the incorrect notes, the harmony notes, it speaks to me of the possibility of getting together with somebody else and, you know, embellishing the melody together. So, and to come up with some nice duet, like all of this sort of. It'd be nice to solo together, basically.
Yeah.
Just 2 people.
And the other thing is, like, this is a perfect tune because of its kind of the shape of the melody is like for 2 people, one person just go, and the other person to go. And it kind of sounds better with 2 people doing it because you get this nice call and answer thing.
But also in that add notes at start or end, you know, that you could all agree. Both of you could agree to do that phrasing, but
yeah,
on different notes.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
You know,
just come
and
up.
in a section of the song, maybe. You know, where
Yeah.
that'd be
Often
nice.
you do that. There's this other guitar player I play with a bit sometimes. We've made a couple of videos, but whenever we play a tune together, we always do a bit where we solo together. You never quite know what's going to happen, but you're half doing your own thing and you're kind of half listening to what they're doing, and either trying to play. But yeah, it's a great fun thing to do, and this is a good tune to do that on. It's some of those jazz people do those. Sorry, you go.
No, you go.
Oh, I was gonna. What's the name of
I
that
was going to
guy?
say they do those. James Sherlock.
And you're doing
We've
it on
just done a few
special
little-
guitars, aren't they? Special guitars that you're doing it on? Old ones.
Not really. Just they're just old fat big guitars. The but this is one sometimes jazz guys do those kind of like those nearly classical. That kind of not consistent eighth notes kind. I think it's like a fugue.
Chris Waite looks like he's got a
Yeah,
question.
great. Oh, I can't. I've got to move my screen.
Yeah, so I guess my question is, which notes are you choosing? They all seem like they're from D minor or F major.
Yeah, that's a great question. It's all very well putting in notes, isn't it? But yeah, so I guess on the ones when you get to there, you're on the it's on the G minor 7th chord, but they're from the F scale. Yeah. But yeah, you could anything that's kind of works with G minor would be good in there. But yeah, you'd use that rather than they've got to be kind of related to the chord, I guess.
Sam, would you be picking notes that are actually already in the song and just utilising them out of place, if you like?
Yeah, look, I think just by coincidence they probably are in the. Like I'm trying to think. You're kind of nearly going back over the melody notes in a slightly different rhythm. So yeah, you're kind of recycling and that'll kind of make it fairly comfortable to listen to if you kind of, just reusing those melody notes. But because what you could do is you could just take one of these little approaches and just try to follow it through for the whole A section. Actually, I'll tell you what, I'll play the last one, then I'll just show you what I mean by that. Then we can move on. So the last one is just kind of a bit of a mixture where, see if I can play. Okay, just had to rehearse it. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. I was trying to do it 3 times so you could kind of hear it. I don't know if I'd play exactly that. It's a bit, but just that's a bit of all the different kind of ingredients thrown in. Sorry, Chris has got a question. Yeah, go, Chris. Yeah.
Yeah, like the M or D minor or natural D minor scale or F scale seems to fit over everything until you get to the A7 over G.
I'm just wondering why those accidentals work so well in that bar. What makes that bar just able to cope with that out of key?
The bar that where the G minor 7 chord is.
The A7 with the G bass. So what are we? 1, 2, 3. Bar 7 with the B natural and the C sharp.
I better have a look at it. So that's kind of the only one out of the scale. Like if all the other ones are kind of in the F scale, but that one, like that A7's got a C sharp note in it, and that's so when you've got a kind of, you know, a rogue chord like that, you want to let people know you know what you're doing. You put the third in there somewhere. It's always the kind of third and the seventh of any chord that kind of really highlights their differences. Is that kind of what you mean? I haven't actually got up to that A7. We've been doing so many of the G minors. But yeah, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll play it, because this is what this could be good homework, Jane. See what you think. Like, you could just pick one of these and try and do it for a whole A section. So I'll do the one with the extra note. So. And a chord. So that was a bit of like an extra note, and then kind of preempting the next chord, like you kind of got time to do all that stuff, isn't it?
Which were you emphasising or utilising one of those in particular, Sam?
That was the one with the extra note, yeah. Because
Which one does it say? Which one is it? Which box?
Number 6.
Yeah.
The one
At
with
notes
the one
at
that's
start
got.
or end.
Yeah.
Okay, ta.
So that one you have to come up with. You only actually have to come up with 2 extra notes, because if you notice the melody note and the last note of my extra are the same. So if I follow that same pattern, just kind of doing the same thing going down the scale like the melody does.
So you're also landing yourself back at the same point the song would be in.
Yeah, that's right. So
rather than deviating.
Instead of that melody note lasting 4 beats, I'm kind of, there it is, I'm just kind of going, and then coming back to it.
You have to remind people that you're still playing Autumn Leaves, I guess.
That's right. Yeah. So it's still... So it's just adding in 2 notes, 2 scale notes below it, and then coming back up to it again.
And the melody of Autumn Leaves is sequencing, right?
Yeah.
The first bar, the third bar, the fourth, the sixth, they're sequencing, right? So so in a way your improvising is also sequencing.
Exactly, yeah. So
you want to tell them about sequencing a bit more?
I'm just going to...
Do you use that terminology, Sam?
Is that the right word for it?
Is it? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
John's been using the word sequencing, so he must have learnt that at high school.
I think Chris actually told me about it too. Chris Waite, right, Chris? Yeah.
Because it's very symmetrical. It just, it does the pattern like that, and then it just moves 1 degree down the scale each time.
Yes.
Yeah. It does that. So it's exactly the same pattern. So in any kind of little embellishment like I just did, you just do exactly the same thing as well. So everything just goes down a pattern.
Yeah.
Where we get, so on that you're going D, E, F. So you're going B flat. I'm just going adding in a G and an A to get back to another B flat. And then so on the next one, the note's an A, so I'd add an F and a G to it. And then the next one's it's really testing me. G. Does that make sense? It's very mathematical, isn't it? It's kind of like.
And having said that, then the B section. Since you went away, the days grow long, and in a way, the melody there is a little not so interesting to me.
It's
what
kind of different. I mean, it's. Sorry, you go, Kathy. Yeah.
No, I love that part.
Oh yeah, I'm the same. But Jane says the melody's not so interesting. What I was about to chip in was, but the chord movement makes it interesting, I think.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you need that bit.
That dropping thing on the D.
But I
minor.
suppose my question would be the approach to the B section. You certainly want to change your approach in your improvising.
I think so. Yeah, because it's a whole, like the shape's different, so we'll think of kind of different things, but you kind of need that bit to make the other bits sound good, don't you? Cause it's got that really thing. It's got that very classical.
It is classical, isn't it?
It's breaking the ascension that you've got in the other part.
Yeah.
It's always ascending in the other part, and now it's got a drop and climb back. It bounced back from a drop.
Sorry, I had to move I've got my screen now. I can see everyone now. Yeah, it just breaks the shape up, doesn't it? But yeah, like I have off the top of my head, I haven't got a. You could add notes. To those that because it all starts on every note of that bridge starts on the second beat. After the first. Well, there's three of them so you could do a little run up to each of those notes. To think about it. But that
I've got a question, Sam, but it's not of you. It's of Ruth McRae, because Ruth, like in terms of vocally, this is a song you can mess with, and that is improvising. So, Ruth, what do you do when you sing this one and you're messing with it?
In the B section?
Well, in the whole song.
Hi everyone. How are you? I know the song like really well, so I've listened to it a gazillion times, and I know the chords really well. So I think what I'm doing is I'm just stealing from the chords that I know are either on their way or underpinning the melody. So, and I kind of know where to land at the end of phrases. So I know that if I'm messing about with melody, I have a fair idea of where I'm going to finish off the phrase or whatever I'm singing.
Ruth, and I think you've just completely summarized what today's subject matter is, because it's know your shit really well. Like the melody and the chords, where it's going to go to. And I mean, as Chris Robbo said, that it's also, I guess you have the ingredients of notes that you can choose from. Could you give us a demonstration, Ruth?
Give us a demo. Ruth?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I love this.
Yeah, maybe. But the other thing I'm going to say is, like, I can do that when I sing. Hopefully I can. But I wouldn't be able to do what I'm singing necessarily on the uke because my level's not up to speed like some others here.
And that's another good point.
Is something
you're trained. You've got a degree in singing, right? Effectively, and you know your instrument really well. And so if you know the ukulele instrument or the bassoon instrument, if you've got all those skills up, then you can express yourself in the way that you imagine. And you can do that with your voice, but you can't necessarily do it. You can't do it with the ukulele.
Do you want to give us a demo, Ruth, of a section on
Yeah, right. I thought it was only going to be Sam on the spot.
No, it'll be great because I was just going to say, I kind of play off singers so much, like, because often you do a solo, or after a singer, so you're really kind of feeding off how they've sung the song to kind of influence your solo, and singers do great. I mean, all this stuff I'm talking about, singers just do without. This is very kind of over analytical in a way, but it's like, but it is kind of what happens. But it's just when singers sing a song, that's they do all this and more kind of thing.
Yeah.
You might have to do it a cappella, Ruth. That's all. Because I think the
just
ukulele
a couple of phrases would be great, just because it really just does fuel your soul. A soloist. That's what I find anyway.
Okay, I'm feeling a little bit on the spot, but I'll give it a go. All right, so I'll just start from the beginning. All right, I don't think I'm going to be all that adventurous, but anyways, here we go. So, the falling leaves drift by my window. The autumn leaves are red and gold. I see your lips, the summer kisses, the sunburned hands I used to hold. And I'll just finish it there because I can't hear the chords.
No, that's great, but
sorry, like I'm just sort of
That was really pretty, and like that's exactly what we should all be aiming to do. Like you're changing the melody, changing the phrasing, but it's still kind of very much recognize. Even if you were just singing notes, you'd still recognize the tune. But yeah, just nice, subtle changing, choice kind of note changes.
But she's got, if you're singing the lyrics, you've got the extra advantage of people don't have to necessarily recognize the melody because they've got the words to hang their hat on.
Yeah.
Yeah. We know she's got a stunning voice, Janine. We're very lucky in Newcastle.
Anyway, so yeah, thank you.
Yeah, no, that's great. It's good to put all this in perspective with singing like that.
Shall we wrap up on Autumn Leaves, but should we play it once through just so everybody can have a little...
Yeah.
Yeah?
Again?
So just one noodle, and I'm just going to do chords and Mark's going to do bass, so you guys can play around with it, and we can't hear you, so you can do whatever you want, really, And
yeah, the last song I was just going like that.
Okay, so we're all in, yeah. Okay.
Is everybody muted?
Yep, I just checked, including Sam. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1.
That was a nice tempo. I was really enjoying playing that then.
Oh, good. Thanks. Cool. Would you like to move on to Mac the Knife or Sway, Sam?
Yeah. What should we just have a really quick look at Mac the Knife, just because it's kind of a fairly similar approach to Autumn Leaves, and then there's the video that's got, people can play along with. So we'll have a quick look at that and then go, because Sway is a bit of a different kind of thing. I was just going to say, in that one, when you got to the bridge then, it felt like you wanted to just do something really different, like something, forget all that playing around the melody. That felt like the time to just go off a bit somewhere.
I feel like with that song, because it's been so subdued, I want the bridge to take off and to just go right up high and go crazy.
But it's really nice at that tempo, because often it's too fast and it's kind of...
Yeah, because it's a sad reflective song. It shouldn't. Anyway, that's.
But it is like Chris Robinson said. The melody in the verse is very locked into that ascending thing.
Yeah.
So that the bridge totally breaks out of that.
Yeah.
It's good. It's a great song, obviously. Mac the Knife.
Okay. Yeah.
Now,
I shouldn't need it, but.
So, folks, I just want to reassure you that we're playing just the melody. We're not playing that crazy chord stuff. Crap. I didn't say crap. No, I know. That was a slip of the tongue.
Say crap.
But having said that,
yeah,
I think next week we should look at the chord melody stuff. Right. That's next week. We are going up the neck with this stuff. We'll go up with probably Autumn Leaves, Mac the Knife. We are going to do that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, there's more we could do on all these tunes, which would be good now that we know them. But yeah, like I got a little bit carried away with those.
No, it's fantastic.
Things. But and there weren't really ones I thought out. I just thought, and I thought, look, someone might want them or like them, so better to write them in and ignore them, or blah blah. But anyway, look, it's a really simple swinging melody. I wonder if we can play it together. Just like this is another one where, because there's so few notes, the kind of articulation is really like, if you just go, it doesn't bite. You need it, like, I reckon that first note needs a slide, like, so you do a slide and then a short note and then a long note, then a short note. So I'll play that about 10 times and just join in. And so slide, short, long, short, I think. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. Actually, I found another slide to get in. Any, slides are great. They just add a little, bit extra. Yes, slide short. That's a good rule. Should we play the whole thing? Yeah. All right. Just gotta look it up. 1, 2.
Just play it.
Is that right? 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. 1, 2. 4, 1, 2. Go round again. First bit again. 1, 2. Sorry, I looked away for a minute and got.
How did that go for everybody? Or was his speed a little? It was okay. Oh, fantastic, great. Yeah, for me, it's a little variable too.
Well, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I suppose it depends on all of our collective.
It suits my playing.
Chris has got a pacemaker basically, so that helps keep him in rhythm usually. Sometimes he has a glitch.
But there's a couple of little spots but like every little trick you can put in, like it's kind of like each note needs some kind of treatment, either a slide or a short. We got all those. When you where's that? It's like the on the third line, that second bar where it's 2, 3, 4, 1. So it's a little hammer on sounds quite good there from 2 to 3, or a slide. But yeah, it's a good one for slides because it's nice and slow. So yeah, the next bit, it's just if you're playing along with the backing track or the video, you can play just the melody like we did there, but I just put chords in. I'll just play the melody again, and I'll play the chord version of it. And you can play the chord version if you want to, or just play the simple one. So. 1, 2, 1, 2. So there's a couple of bits like where the melody goes down to that note, it's too low for a chord, so you just do the single note. Probably the more important thing in that, rather than all those stretchy chords, is the kind of answering phrase, like. Which it's kind of a similar kind of thing to one of those ones in Autumn Leaf where you got a long gap and you can just put in some straight kind of punchy chords.
So you're filling the rest space.
Yeah, that's right. And like when you're going from a single line melody, if you play chords, it's kind of a nice contrast. Whereas if you do more single line, you got to be a bit more careful about how it's going to. Anything like that is a nice kind of answer to it. But just with the simple melody, like some of those things in Autumn Leaves, like where you put notes before or after, would work. So 2, 3, 4, 1. So just kind of you're keeping the melody kind of intact, but just, within that shape of the melody, just adding in little notes. A good way to start with that is just where you've got a crotchet, just make it a quaver, like. And then, it sounds a bit dicky after 10 minutes of it, but then you change them. Then if you kind of, but just to get used to that thing of adding in extra notes, that's a good way to go.
I actually get quite intimidated by the diminished chords. Like, I can look at that and go, okay, it mostly stays in C, and then that diminished chord comes in, and I get quite intimidated by what to solo on there.
Yeah, the diminished chords, it's so good because it's kind of the one chord you go, there's a diminished scale, and that just works so well over the diminished chord. Like, there's not really, or there's a diminished arpeggio. And the great thing about a diminished chord is just it's symmetrical, so it's 3 semitones apart. So whichever note you start on, you just go up 3 semitones, and you get
It also means that you can use the chord itself as a soloing tool, because you can just you can go up the neck every 3 frets. If you've got a line.
But I'm glad you actually asked that, because I thought it'd be good to talk about them some, because if I was soloing, solo. So I just, that was just blang slapping the diminished scale in there, but it's like, ooh,
It's very, as you used the term last week, it's very fruity.
Fruity, yeah. That wasn't it. Like, but yeah, it's a great. Sam,
what's is a diminished scale is not an arpeggio, is not.
So the arpeggio is 3 semitones apart.
Yes.
To make it a scale, all you do is you go tone, semitone, tone, semitone. So you go. So you got the 3 semitones, and they're just. So you go A, B, C, D, D sharp.
Take us through that a little bit slowly from the A note, Sam.
Yeah, okay. So I think we'll just do it on one string, just because then it's easy to see. So if we go, we'll do the arpeggio first. So the arpeggio's A, C, E flat, G flat. Do that a few times. A flat, G, A, C, E flat, G flat. And then, so to make it into a scale, we just put a tone, we go tone, semitone to get us to that 3 semitones up. So it'd be A, B, C, C, D, E flat, F, G flat. And if you keep going, you get back to A, G flat, A flat, A. So it's really geometric. It's about the only there's that on the whole tones, but they're completely symmetrical.
I do love teaching the diminished chord, because it's the rescue me off the train track chord.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And it repeats every 3 frets. But as one of Chris Robinson's compatriots up at Maitland said, it's a really good. He calls it the epic fail chord. So you go. Sorry, that's the wrong answer.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. But
See, descend
the other great thing is it's just stop me if this is too stupid, but it's often used as a passing chord. Like, so when you go from C to D minor, like, you know, how are we going to get from C to D minor? We're going to go C sharp diminished, yeah. And so it works great if you've got a rhythm section playing the chords and they're not playing the diminished, but you in your solos you play the diminished. So, you know, if everyone's all playing it's kind of too correct, but it's kind of better. So I might be going. So I'm putting that in to get to the D minor, and it's just, it doesn't really matter if the kind of band's playing it behind you, you're just putting that in as a. Struggling to add it in, but yeah, you need kind of chords behind it to really hear it. But
Hey, should we move on to Sway for our last 2 minutes?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, because we're going to come back to Mac the Knife next week.
Yeah.
So,
And you can just, you know, it's a great one just to practice that melody, just get that articulation. Because it's if you can get it sounding good with just, you know, the bare melody, it's so, then kind of anything else you add is just kind of going to add to it.
Ruth Allen just asked if we could do a PDF of the diminished scale. There's a website called ukulelescales.com and it has C diminished, half tone, whole tone ukulele scale.
Wow, that sounds like it.
It's not a PDF by the looks of it.
we'll work on that. Don't worry. Ruth.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we can say.
And the arpeggio
Huh?
pattern.
Have you got one, Kathy?
No.
Yeah, it
Oh,
was
what
more
one?
it was more the arpeggio thing.
The
that
arpeggio pattern.
I still haven't quite got my head round, and it would just be handy to see.
Yeah, like it's good to have it in. It's good to have it.
It's great.
We need it just under our fingers.
Yeah, right. Because you go half tone, whole tone. What the hell tone?
No, learn the pattern. Learn the pattern.
It is a pattern. Yeah. All right. Yeah, we'll sort that out.
It's a great one on the bass. I really love doing that one on
Jane
the bass.
will write that out all week.
But don't you just hold the chord and that's where it's all there?
Well, I mean, they're all, but there's.
It's all there, but it's out of order.
I mean, there's extra notes like.
Yeah.
You know, if you just go, you jump to the leaps are a bit much.
It's a beautiful. It is. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's move to Sway for our last.
Sway, yeah. Open. Sway. Do you guys want to play it or something?
Yeah,
or
sure. Yep.
we haven't got a
We'll play it because your lag's a bit strong. So how about we do 2 A's and a B and back to an A on this one?
Sway, is it right?
Yeah. So play. I'll play. Should I play melody or do you guys?
Yeah, but
Yeah,
melody's
okay.
good, I reckon.
I'm just playing it straight. Again, I'm just playing it straight, right? No frills, nothing. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1.
Sorry.
Again.
great tune to play, isn't it? It's
so lovely.
because that's one, like I've played that song quite a bit in like big band things, and whenever there is quite often a guitar solo, but you always start it with. I think it comes from like a Dean Martin record or something, but like there's just no good reason not to play that melody at the beginning.
But Sam, you did that as a harmonised thing straight away.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, just
harmonised out of a very specific set of ingredients there.
I guess so. It's like it's just. I think we're in E minor. Yeah, so like E minor harmonic. Is that what the harmonic minor scale? Yeah. It's one of those great ones. It's got all those great kind of sounds and diminished chords. If we come back to this one, this would be a great one for some diminished chord action.
Well, I think we should do this next week because I think it's got a lot of scope to it.
Got a lot.
So we did this in Improv 2 and we used the harmonic minor scale to improv on it.
And where did you kind of get up to it? Did you do harmony or something, or?
Well, we didn't do harmony on the harmonic.
Yeah.
or we didn't do chord melody on this either.
Yeah.
But we used the harmonic minor on it. It was your last lesson in Improv 2, guys.
Oh, okay. It's just a fun tune. Like the melody's so strong, it's a really good one to. I'm just mucking around, but kind of doing all those things in that sheet, pinching from the melody, adding in a chord on that kind of the long note, or adding in some chords in the break.
Some
stab, yeah.
And you, because you've got that long note, you could also do that thing where you said you just add in more notes, Yeah, you like.
And like when Ruth was singing, like you can change that. I think you changed that long note of Autumn Leaves, and that's like. And it still sounds like the song, you'd get away with it, but it's just a nice variation. That's another good little, I think you call those surrounding note, like when that kind of thing, where you just, rather than just one note, just a little semitone below or above. Sorry, yeah.
Trish Collins just suggested that you echo the melody in a different voice or inversion, using that as an improv tool.
Yeah. Well, that was just. Is that what? Where's Trish? I can't see her.
Patricia Collins.
Patricia.
Oh, there she is. Sorry. Next to me. You're in the square just below me. I had a window covering that. I was just going to quick. What does anyone heard of Montunos? You know what those?
Yes, I love Montunos. I played on the piano.
I'm not really great, but this is a great tune for a Montu. I'll try this. 2, 3, 4. They're like a little repetitive picking pattern.
Can you spell that?
Montuno, Montuno.
Thanks.
And lots of Latin music has either a piano. Sometimes there's an instrument called a tres, which often does it, and it's like a weird stringed instrument with, I think it's 6 or 5 strings, but that's another great. It wouldn't work with Mac the Knife, but it'll be great for this one.
Yeah, we're at the camp that we did in California for some years. Set up the Montuno, the piano player, and they were there, or it was on a xylophone or something. Yeah. And they were there. They were stuck on that. They had to underpin everything.
Yeah, once you start a Montuno, you can't stop.
Yeah, you can't.
No, and Montuno, I'm just wikiing it, is from mountain. But they also talk about it being the saddle. That once you get going on the horse, you just got to keep going. You got to keep riding that horse.
I've done a bit of research on Montuno, and my theory is that it's actually music from the mountain.
Well, okay.
You know what I mean? Because they sort of don't know where the term came from, but there's the Montuno, like you're riding a horse up the mountain.
But what's the relevance of that, Sam?
It's just
it's
way
just
of playing it, love.
Like you hear a lot of people will put those in their solos, even just for if you're in the rhythm section and you're playing, you've got to play it the whole time. But if you're the solo, then I can go off I can put a little bit of it in and then go off somewhere else.
And
but,
do you base
they're a great way to learn. Oh, sorry.
I was going to say, do you base a Montuno on an arpeggiation, basically, off a chord?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. They're a great way to learn arpeggios. So yeah, but
so you've got to keep that. You keep that arpeggiation going, and then your solo is that plus the extra notes that you're adding around it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, but even just it's a great exercise just learning a Montuno. Has anyone got any questions or?
You better speak up, everybody, if you've got any questions, because it's 9 o'clock and I think a lot of our brains are probably quite fried.
But it might be nice to play something too. I thought maybe Mark and I can play chords again on this song.
Yeah.
Yeah. And tell us about the homework.
The homework.
Yeah.
That was Chris and Kathy saying, what's the homework?
I'm scared. Yeah, okay. Can I have that week 2 page?
No, it's nothing on it.
Yeah, there is. Isn't there about the homework?
I think so.
Oh, crap.
But Sam did say...
Well, my thoughts on this week were you still just want to really focus on playing those melodies as nice as you can, and then just add in for a solo just for this week. I reckon you want to have the melody, but add in some of those ingredients that we kind of talked about with Autumn Leaves, like either some chords or just minimal little runs, little extra notes. But I reckon if you can play the melody with just some embellishments, and that was the idea of that page. It just gives you an idea of what you kind of can and what you can do. But just if you've got your own ideas, just do that. But basically, it's kind of like if you've been given if you're playing an instrumental version of a song, but you don't want to play it just straight through. You want to make it a bit your own, and so it's kind of 70% melody, 30% solo, that kind of thing.
Do you want them to play the melody straight, then a solo, or do you want them actually, like you just said, to?
I reckon just I think because we don't need to hear the melody straight really.
Thank you.
But I reckon you started off. You'd probably, I reckon you'd play it straight through. You started off straight-ish, and then you gradually just, embellish it a bit further on as you go through it. But
so
backing track.
Sam's provided us 3 backing tracks. I might not have the backing tracks up on the web page yet, but they will be there. So
the Mac the Knife is there.
So. Is there. But Sway and what's the other one? Autumn Leaves. I probably haven't got them up there yet. You didn't put them up, did you?
So
No,
they're
no, I
just
haven't.
little quick ones from iReal Pro, but they'll do the job. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll put the backing tracks up there. Janine got her own backing track this time for last time work. So you're more than welcome if you want to find your own backing track, because you'll find these sorts of songs, you'll find plenty of backing tracks out there. Plenty.
I think I actually couldn't find the backing tracks that you put out there. So I was like, oh, I don't know. That wasn't on purpose. I just couldn't.
So they'll always be MP3s. I'll label them as backing tracks, and they're MP3s, and you can download them. You save as a link, and then you've got the option to save it as a download.
But look, even if you don't do much, even if you just play the melody really nicely and a few little bits, that's, it doesn't have to be kind of groundbreaking solo wise. But I mean, but don't hold back either. But
And what's I think just to put Ruth on the spot again, because that's what we like to do. Yeah, is wouldn't it be interesting if you could get your uke to do? Sorry, Ruth McRae, to do what your vocals can do? Wouldn't that be nice?
That's your homework, Ruth.
Just a thought, because often I say to students, often I say to students, sing your improv, because then it makes sense. If you don't sing your improv, it like mine, it tends to waffle a bit.
There's a lovely Oscar Peterson version of Sea Jam Blues. It's a 9-minute song on YouTube, and he's always going, and he's just like he's singing what he's the little figures that he's putting into his solo.
It's just
like the whole song is solo, except for about 30 seconds of the actual melody of the song. But he's always mumbling, which is his.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Trish?
I love it. Could you just clear up? I understand what we want to do with the song. Is it on one song only, or is it just one song? Of our choice.
I mean, do both if you want, but
no.
Oh, no. Sorry, no.
And it's the song of our choice, or is it Autumn Leaves?
One of the three.
One of the three. Okay.
One of the three.
You may as well do one of the new ones, I reckon.
Huh?
One of the new ones. Is that what you mean? Like
like Autumn, Sway, or Mac.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's fine.
Bring in another. It needs to be a jazz standard.
What about Cootamundra Waddle by John Williamson?
We do have. Yeah, I'd prefer it was something pretty standard that I'm going to recognise, and so I'm going to know what you're doing with it. So if you want to bring in your own song, just make it a real jazz standard, please. Yeah. Jazz standard.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. So, is that okay? Anybody got another question? I do think we should leave the classroom playing.
Yeah.
I think we should play Sway.
Does Sam or Ruth or Janine want to mention what's happening on Sunday morning?
Oh, yeah. You do it, Kathy.
Kathy.
Sam's going to be presenting at the teachers. Yeah, at Ortler. Is that what you're talking about, Kath? Yeah. So Sam is doing a thing. Sam, you have to tell them what you're doing.
He's putting it on how to use iReal Pro.
There you go.
And that's as part of, so some of us in here are members of the Australian Ukulele Teachers and Leaders Association.
Can we join in?
Yeah,
because I've downloaded it, but
I don't think you can. Like, you have to be a member of Ortler to join in. This is professional development for that.
But it only costs you 20. What does it cost you?
$30 a year. $30 a year.
You're welcome. $30 a year, and they do these things every month. They do.
If you're doing any teaching at all, then you're more than welcome to join Ortler. And at the moment, because of COVID, what we decided to do was do a lot of professional development for members, and effectively at the moment it's free. We won't be able to sustain that, but if people join up as members, then yes, you can come. But you kind of need to be doing or thinking about doing some teaching, because you get asked that question in your application. If that helps, doing or thinking about becoming a
but there's some good there is some good videos. You've just downloaded it but haven't kind of got it going? Yeah.
are we going to play a song?
Yeah, play a song. Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, I have just typed up one song on it only.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, let's do Sway. We'll be your backing band. I won't play melody. You're just going to improv. Let's do AABA. Okay, just finish off the night so that we're playing. A 1, a 2, a 3.
Sam, can you mute?
No, leave it.
All the dancers may be on the floor. I can hear the sound of
Another round.
when marimba rhythms start to play, make me sway like a lazy ocean, sway me more, flower bending, sway with ease, way with me. All the dancers may I can hear the sound of make me thrill, make me thrill as only you know how. Sway me, make me thrill as only you know how. Sway me, smooth sway me now.
Great song.
What a great song to play, isn't it? Just
Yeah, those Latin songs are just perfect for improv. I love them. Actually, we should have put also in a maybe next week we also need to put in a Balkan song. They're the other great improv songs, I reckon, the Eastern European stuff. Yeah. Anyway, so you got your homework. Sam, Mark, and I have to put our thinking caps on about what's next week. And
I was just going to say, is everyone happy to keep recycling these songs? Because there's kind of more we can do with these songs, rather than just bring in new ones all the time. I mean, might maybe have one new one next week, but
yes, I think so.
I think it's probably quite a good idea if we just, because you already kind of know them already, and if we do something different, it's not like you're starting from scratch. So
that's a very good educational principle.
Yeah.
I was going to say, it's a really great thing for spiral learning, because you come around each time and get something each time out.
If we move the hand as well, just
but I do think a one new song or something would be probably nice.
Be nice to do one non-jazzy song in there,
I'd like one non-jazz.
I was actually thinking of Tennessee Waltz,
that'd be nice.
One with you can use a lot of open strings, and it's
What's next week's theme, Sam?
Well, let's make.
Is it?
I'm kind of think. Well, we kind of.
We are thinking about
chords.
Chords up,
we
like
mentioned
the
chord
Cagford,
melody,
which you call caged because you're a guitarist. The caged Cagford thing,
kind of like arpeggios. I think we kind of
and
heading a little bit. I reckon we should definitely do a bit more on sway, and we'll put the diminished scale and a bit of arpeggio in that.
Yeah, and also, hey, I would love to learn Montuno. I do it on piano, but I don't really know.
Yeah, well, that's right. If we do a little Montuno,
Montuno, and maybe a bossa nova or something like that.
On like the Montuno and diminished scale will work in sway really well, as will harmony, which is all, you know. Okay. So I mean, you could feed off sway for a whole lesson, you know.
It's just such a great song.
I think we've got the underpinnings of next week. If anybody would like to listen to and see and hear Chris Waite wax lyrical about his ukulele he's just made, he's going to run a workshop now, aren't you? The house. You'll bring it along next week, will you? So Chris, for those who don't know, Chris was here. He's back in Adelaide, but he did a week-long workshop, and I had a bit of a play of it last Friday morning. So beautiful, beautiful ukulele, lovely piece of work. Yeah, it looks like a very good activity to do.
And but no, that's
go away, everybody. Are we done?
No, it's just. I was just going to say all the stuff we did today will all. You know, we can kind of use it for all the other tunes as well, all those little. So yeah, I kind of feel like we've set the kind of the what is it the something. Now
I
we
think
just flesh it out more. Yeah.